My name is Adrian with Project Ramos, and on this channel I do tech reviews and tech unboxings, so if you're into that type of content, consider subscribing. This is the YOUSAMS 3-in-1 charging cable. It's a cable designed to be able to make it convenient if you have multiple devices and that you need to charge, but you don't want to carry around a bunch of different cables. This cable in particular has a USB type A charging port, or rather this port is the one that plugs into the wall charger, and then on the other end you get three choices here to be able to charge. You get a lightning connector, you get a micro USB connector, and a USB Type-C connector. So you're going to be able to use either one of these connectors to be able to charge a device, or all three at the same time. In addition to that, it also has an LCD readout built into the cable to show you the wattage that is being pulled through the cable as soon as you plug this into power and plug the other end into a device to charge. Now, there is a few things to note about this cable. Number one is that it can transmit data. However, the only port that transmits data is the USB Type-C port. The other two ports are only charging, no data on the other two. The other thing to note is the USB Type-C cable side of it is capable of charging up to 66 watts. I was able to confirm that. I'll show that here on screen. So here is where I was testing it, and in this screenshot here, I pulled 68 watts, and that's out of the USB Type-C charging port. So it definitely does handle 66 watts out of the USB Type-C charging port. And in addition to that, these are the protocols that this cable, or the USB Type-C cable, is capable of. It can definitely do the Apple 2.4 amp, QC 3.0 all the way up to 16 volts, QC 2.0 all the way to 20 volts, and both Huawei fast charging protocols. And that's it. It doesn't support the others. The others that you see there in red are the ones that it does not support, so it doesn't do power delivery, unfortunately. So there's a few other things to note about this that I found while testing this cable. One of the other things is that the lightning cable is only going to charge at about 10 to 12 watts. You're not going to be able to fast charge your iPhone using this cable. The USB Type-C cable, I plugged this into my iPad Pro, and I was not able to fast charge it. Even though the USB Type-C is capable of up to 66 watts of power, I was not able to fast charge my iPad Pro, and I think that is because when it comes to Apple products, the cable needs to be USB Type-C on both ends to be able to fast charge a either USB Type-C on both ends for the new iPad Pros, or USB Type-C on one end and then Lightning on the opposite end. So being that this cable is USB Type-A to Lightning, I think that's the reason why you're not going to be able to fast charge an iPhone. And then the USB Type-C end, because it's not USB Type-C to USB Type-C, I think that's the reason why my iPad was not fast charging as well. So that's something to keep in mind. So overall, the cable works as expected. Now, I did test the data transmission on the USB Type-C charging or cable. I'll show you the results here. I used the Blackmagic disk speed test to check the data transmission, and it does deliver pretty much what the manufacturer states. You're never going to get the full 480 megabits per second. So we're getting about 38 megabytes per second on write and 33 megabytes per second on read, which that comes out to 318 megabytes per second. So it's fairly close. You're never going to hit that full maximum speed for various reasons. This cable was plugged into a hub that goes into my computer, and there's a lot of factors that go into play. So the transmission, I can say that it does operate well as well. So overall, this cable does work as intended, with the exception that you're not going to be able to fast charge most of your devices, whether you have an iPhone or an iPad, but you will be able to charge them just at a slower rate. So just keep that in mind. So this cable, I think, works great as a convenience. This, you're going to be able to eliminate essentially having to carry 3 cables. You're going to be able to carry this one cable, and that is it. There's a few other things I want to note here is the charging brick that you plug in on this end here that goes to the wall. Make sure that you use a wall charger that can put out at least 45 watts. You're going to want to have this plugged into a really good wall charger that puts out a lot of power. That way you can take advantage of being able to charge more than one device at the same time. The other thing I'd like to note is that the display on the cable itself, the readout for the watts, it's a little dim. I wish it was a little bit brighter. It's still legible though, not too bad. And I've got a screenshot here to show you what I mean. But I just wish it was a little bit brighter. That way you'd be able to easily read what's on there. So there it is there on that screenshot. You can see how the digital readout's a little bit dim. Not too bad though. And that's also a sample shot of when I was pulling 66 watts through the USB Type-C charging cable part of it. So overall, the cable does work as stated. It's a little confusing in terms of the charging protocols, but just know that in general, you are going to be able to charge all of your devices. But as far as fast charging, probably not, especially if you have an iPhone or an iPad. If you do have a Huawei phone, you should be able to fast charge using the USB Type-C charging port. But other than that, you're just going to get regular charging rates out of this cable, which means that your devices are going to charge a little slower, but nonetheless, you're going to be able to eliminate 3 cables and just carry 1 cable.